So welcome everybody. Just want to jump right in. Brewer Science is a U.S. Manufacturing chemicals and sensor manufacturing company. 100% of our manufacturing is done in Rolla and Springfield, Missouri. All of our chemicals and sensors are all made there. We have focus on lithography materials for semiconductor, as well as advanced packaging, and also a smart devices group, which is what I'm part of. And that's been developing sensors and sensor systems, which is what I'm going to talk about today. But full disclosure, the storyline of this presentation changed 2 weeks ago when good friend Daniel Hines from Raytheon asked the question at the UMass Lowell symposium on print electronics. He asked the question, should we coalesce on a standard material in print electronics? And his thought process was, they did it in printed circuit boards. Printed circuit boards is a standard set of FR4 and copper. It was done in semiconductors, right? We're using silicon for the most part. There are other semiconductors, of course. So I had to look back at a historical perspective to see if that's what happened. Did people stand up in a room and say, hey, I choose silicon, hey, I choose FR4? So I just got to walk through that a little bit because it may teach us a little bit about where printed electronics is today and how we can really revolutionize this industry. Because ultimately, that's why we're here. All of us in this room and here in this facility is to really build up additive manufacturing for electronics, printed electronics, hybrid electronics, whatever you want to call it. So how do we do that? So let's look at, one caveat is that if you pick, you have to pick a loser and a winner, right? So that's one challenge. So let's look at printed circuit boards, FR4. FR4 actually has come to be the de facto material, but the basis of that started actually in 1903 and 1904. Printed circuit boards, or at that time they were called printed wiring boards, were actually invented by Thomas Edison and the German inventor Albert Hansen, along with Frank Sprague from Sprague Electric. They put copper on paper. And then they started putting paper infiltrating with epoxy. So actually the basis of our printed circuit board technology today comes from the very early 1900s. But as you see here, it's basically laminates filled with epoxy, glass fiber, paper, or some other phenolics or polyester. But there are tons of variants, right, in traditional PCB laminates. So FR2 through FR6, SEM1 through SEM3, and so forth. But there's also more advanced laminates, PTFE laminates, filled hydrocarbon resins, and proprietary formulations made by Sola, AGC, which was formerly Taconic, Panasonic, Rogers, and so forth. So although we all believe in this room that FR4 was a de facto standard chosen, in fact, it's just what industry has accepted to be maybe the easiest to manufacture, the lowest cost, the highest volume run, the right materials. There were standards developed around that. But ultimately, in the beginning, it was in 1900s, all we had was copper and paper and some polymer epoxies at that time. Let's look at silicon or semiconductors. Semiconductors actually started with germanium. Germanium was the chosen material, right? Or the best material. Starting at Bell Labs, the first transistor was made, of course, in 1948 on germanium. It wasn't until 10 years later that TI, Texas Instruments, developed the first integrated circuit, also on germanium, using gold wire. About 6 months to a year later is when Fairchild came up with the very first monolithic silicon integrated circuit using silicon and aluminum. Why did they choose and go with silicon? Well, because it was easy to planarize, it was readily available, it was cheap, and it had a great oxide material that was an excellent insulator already built in. Right? That's why silicon came into being. Of course, there were lots of